Hello, this is Chuck Carnevale, co-founder of FastGraphs, the fundamentals analyzer software tool, aka Mr. Valuation. What I've got for you with this video is a subscriber request where I was asked to look at 3 different defense companies: General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin, and RTX, which is the old combination between United Technologies and Raytheon. And what I'm going to do is, through the perspective of FastGraphs, look at all these companies by their numbers. But I do want to make something clear. This should be the first step in a research and due diligence process. And what you should really do is go much deeper on any stock you're looking at and really try to learn as much about the company as possible. We're going to do a little bit of that in this video, but mostly we're going to look at the stocks by the numbers. So let's go ahead and get on it and get into the fast graphs. Now, the first stock that we're going to look at here is General Dynamics, and I'm simply doing these in alphabetical order. Now, when you're using fast graphs, this is a research tool. We call it a research tool to think with. It gives you a lot of information that you don't get just by looking at price charts, which you typically see on most companies. So the idea here is, let's look at what the fundamentals of the company are telling us. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get price off of the graph and the normal PE, which is price related. And I want to look at the earnings growth. Now, this has been an 8% grower over this time frame. Okay, it's been relatively consistent. It does have the occasional down year, so we see that with defense stocks. Has a very excellent dividend record. This is really not a dividend cut, but this is a period where they paid 5 dividends in one calendar year and only 3 in the next. But otherwise, they really have a record of increasing their dividend every year, which is very good. And the company currently offers a 2.26% yield. Now, that yield is a little lower than it should be because I think the valuation is high. Now, this is an A-rated company, which means it's got a good, strong balance sheet and good quality by Standard & Poor's. It only has 27% debt, so that's a plus. Now, it is trading at a relatively high multiple, which we'll look at here in a few minutes, which gives us an earnings yield of 5.27%. But they're paying out approximately 40-some% of their dividend, as you can see, by simply pointing to this gold line, which is the dividend line. We changed the color from white to gold, by the way, so that it works better in dark mode, because we have dark mode available in FastGraphs. But regardless, the area below this gold line is what the company paid out of these total profits. So you can see that by looking at the ratio here. They're roughly paying out just a little under half of their earnings to you as an investor. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the next company and look at it from the same perspective. That would be Lockheed Martin. Now, here we've got an 11% grower, and it's also very consistent. Since COVID, it's had a little bit of cyclicality that has been unusual, but has a very strong dividend growth line, and it also is paying out in the 40-50% range of its dividend. It also has an earnings yield of 5% and a dividend yield of 2.85, so it's a little better dividend yield. It is A- rated by Standard & Poor's, but it does have a lot more debt than what we saw with General Dynamics. Okay, so let's put that into perspective. And then the last of the 3 would be the old United Technologies Raytheon, which has about a 7% growth rate. It did struggle during COVID, but it also has a very excellent dividend record. The earnings yield is a little lower than the others because the PE is a little higher, the blended PE, but it is BBB plus and with 39% debt. And the key is all 3 of these are investment grade companies. Okay, so let's go back and start and talk a little bit about what I said in my opening remarks. So let's go ahead and go back to General Dynamics here. I'm looking at the numbers here. This is what the company's produced in terms of earnings and then in terms of dividends. When I'm looking at a fast graph, I live down here. I want to see what the growth rates have been year after year. Just looking at an average is not good enough, because remember, when I change the time frame, the growth rates change because I'm measuring a different time period and a different time frame. So now we're down to 7%. I do a 10-year, we're down to 6%. I do a 6-year, we're back up to 7.5%. So there's a little bit of cyclicality here, but this is clearly a 7 or 8% grower. So that's one thing that I want you to note. But then we do offer an external link that allows you to go into the company's website. And so before you invest in any stock, you should do as much research and diligence as you can. So we can go into about General Dynamics, and we can learn about its history and so on, but we can also look at their businesses. And they've got aerospace, marine, combat, and technologies. And you could go into each of these sections and learn about that. Okay, it's a defense company. all right? And you can learn a great deal by spending some time on their websites of just what the company does. Now, these companies are all in the same industry, and they're all competitors to some extent, but they also each have their own niche. Okay, now let's move on with the fundamentals. I'm going to leave the price off the graph. Since it is a dividend-paying stock, and since it does have a great dividend record, and if you could buy it at an attractive valuation, it would be a really good stock to own as an income investor, because not only do you get a good dividend, but you get an increasing dividend each year. As you can see by following my mouse here, their dividends per share have grown every year. And you can measure that by going into the performance report. Now, I'm going to not do a lot of this today for sake of time, but the dividend growth rate of this stock has been double digits on average, or the compound growth rate has been almost 11%. So it's got a really excellent dividend record. And if you're living off your portfolio or off of your income from your stocks, then having a stock like this that gives you an increase in pay every year is really a very attractive feature. And that's why I like dividend stocks. Okay, but when you're looking at dividend stocks, you got to always ask the question, how safe are the dividends? So you can look at a lot of different metrics with FastGraphs. I'm using operating earnings here. I do want to point out you can look at diluted earnings, and this is more of a GAAP number. But when you're dealing with dividends, the dividends are really paid out of cash flow. So what I want to see is I want to see this orange line, and I'm even going to take the dividend payout ratio line off because I want you just to see this. I'm interested in, I've got a cash flow in 2008 of $7.80 for, and they paid $1.30 for dividend. In 2020, they had earnings of $13.40, and they paid out $4 in dividends. So the bottom line is, when I put the dividends and the dividend payout ratio back on the graph here, the key is that the orange line is always above the gold line, okay, which means they have ample cash flow to pay their dividend. So let's go ahead and look at Lockheed Martin from the same perspective. Let's go into operating cash flow and see. Now, very excellent record here. They did have one period where they just barely covered their dividend in 2012. They covered it by a relatively thin margin in 2018, but I'm analyzing what I'm looking at. But otherwise, when the company does have a lot of debt, keep in mind, so we got to be careful. So that leads me to, well, before I do that, let's go to Raytheon or RTX Corporation and look at it from the same perspective. Let's go ahead and move to the operating cash flow line, and let's look for operating cash flow. And again, very well covered dividend. During COVID, they got close where they had a $2.66 of operating cash flow and a $1.86 dividend. But now let's move on to the ultimate test, which would be free cash flow. Okay, this is what's left over after everything's spending around the business. And other than the COVID year, they had plenty of free cash flow to pay the dividend. That's Raytheon. So now let's move to Lockheed Martin and the free cash flow to equity. And we see with Lockheed Martin, there were two times where they didn't cover the dividend with free cash flow, but then they recovered each time after that. So generally speaking, looks like a very safe dividend yield here. And then let's move on to General Dynamics. And again, let's go to the free cash flow to equity metric. And we see here very strong dividend coverage on the stock. So I really like that a lot. Now, there's a lot of other analytical things I can do with these stocks. I want to point that out with FastGraphs. I can go into fiscal fitness, for example. And if I'm making an investment decision, I can look at things like return on invested capital for each of the companies, return on equity for each of the companies, return on assets. I can look at the all-important margins. I can look at gross margin, operating margin, and net margin, okay, for each of these companies. And I can do that for all of them if I was interested in investing in them. But now let's test that. So let's go back to adjusted operating earnings, which I use as a valuation metric. And let's talk now, let's bring in stock prices, and let's look how stock prices relate to that. These are the lessons in valuation I always talk about. Coming into the recession of 08 and 09, the market tended to put a relatively high multiple on the stock. They were trading at 17 times earnings, which is not outrageous. But then the recession hit, and it got down to where the market was only putting a 6 multiple on the stock or lower. Okay, and then we had several years of single-digit to just double-digit multiples put on the stock. But I want you to notice this was a period of generally, I'm going to say, flat earning. They had a 10% growth, no growth, 2% growth, minus 7% growth. We can see that here. And the stock traded at, and it languished at a low valuation. Now, if I wanted to know what the normal multiple was during that period of time, I could take the scroll bar here on Fast Graph, and I can move back to this time frame when it was trading at low multiples, and I can see that it was not uncommon to see 10 and 12 multiples back here. I can bring this in a little closer, then drag my mouse, drag it to this time period here if I can hit it, and I can see now that there was an 11 multiple was on average, but even then there were times when it was below that. Now I can do that with each of these stocks, by the way, because I'm analyzing the companies. But let's bottom line what I see here. I see a good company with decent growth, a great dividend record, a low amount of debt, but I see the price being above the orange line or even the blue line in this case, which I find that is an indication of being overvalued, looking at the long-term graph. Now, when I shorten the time frame, okay, I get a different perspective. But the main thing is you should always make your decisions on forecasting. And so the forecasts are for GD to grow earnings at 9.36%. There are 20-some analysts given this year and next year, and then it drops to 14. The analysts have been lowering their estimates, so I'm analyzing that and evaluating that, because that's something that's been relative for both this year, next year, and the following year. But if using a 15 PE as a justifiable valuation, I'd only have a potential to make 2.5%, and that's with a dividend of 2.6%, meaning I'm going to get some PE shrinkage. Even though I'm getting 9% growth, the PE shrinkage from the current PE of 18.98 down to a 15 PE would lead me to a 2.5%-ish rate of return going forward. So as much as I like the company, and I think it's a great company, and the historical graph, I think, illustrates that, I don't like the current valuation. I don't think it's a really excellent time to buy the stock. I don't chase momentum. And of course, it's been in a downtrend for, say, the better part of 4 or 5 months here. All right, so let's move on to the next one and go through the same type of analysis. Let's look at Lockheed Martin. Okay, Lockheed Martin, likewise, got pretty expensive in June of 2024, and then it's been falling, but I don't think it's fallen enough yet. Now, it's been the fastest grower, but keep in mind, when you shorten the time frame, it's been more of there's a lot of deviations in what growth is. Every time you change the time frame, you're calculating numbers from a different time period. A lot of people find this troublesome with fast growth. I find it to be one of the most important features the tool offers, because you look at now going forward, we did have a down year last year. We're expecting a strong rally this year, but the stock has been in a downtrend from a price point of view, but it's because it's been overvalued, in my opinion. I'd like to see the stock cheaper. I'd like to see it in the 350 to 75 range before I'd want to be buying it, even though I'm looking at 11% growth, because I want to fully participate in that growth as an investor. Okay, so let's move on now. Let's go to the last one. Let's go to Raytheon. Raytheon's expected to grow about 10%. Remember, it has 39% debt, but also because of its high valuation, if I point out here, it can make less than roughly 1/4% per year for the next 2 or 3 years. Not because the company's not going to grow, it's expected to grow nicely. Not because it doesn't pay a dividend that's expected to grow consistent with its dividend growth. It does. The only problem is I'm paying a very high valuation to buy the stock. And again, when I look at history and I look when valuations are high, those are always suboptimum times to buy the stock. You always want to be buying these stocks when their valuations are low. That's when you make money owning a stock. And I'm not picking tops and bottoms here. I almost hit the top there. This is where you can really make some decent money on a stock. Valuation matters, and it matters a lot. I've said that over and over again. So all these stocks are looking at great companies, in my opinion. Lockheed has a little more debt than I would like, but it's still a great company. And if you buy it, even way back here, and had the patience to hold on, because for these next 3 or 4 years here, you only made about 5% a year. But if you bought it here and held it till today when it's slightly overvalued, then you end up making 13% a year. And you want to participate in the growth of the business, but you need to recognize, and you should have recognized or could have recognized when the stock was trading up here, that it was overvalued at that point in time. Looking at it going forward, the stock is expected to give you, as I mentioned earlier, nice growth, but you're not looking at making a whole lot of money because you'd be overpaying for the stock here. But if you let history be your guide, if you're patient, there'll be times when you could buy it at fair value. That could be a week, a month, a year. But the point is, there's no reason to buy it when it's overvalued and just chase prices. But again, all these stocks have great dividend coverage. They're all good companies. And you can evaluate them a lot of different ways with fast graphs, including, I want to emphasize that, going directly into the websites of the company and learning about what the company does. What do? They build aircraft. They have all domain operations. They have autonomy with artificial intelligence. They work in cybercrime, deterrence capabilities, space. Again, all these companies have very similar characteristics because they're in the same industry, but they all have different characteristics, and you want to analyze that. But my point is, I want you to look at a fast graph tool, those of you who are subscribers, and I think you all should be. I want you to look at these tools as opportunities to evaluate and do research with, opportunities to see what kind of company it is and see how the market's pricing it. And just because it's a great company and just because it has good growth going forward, you don't want to overpay for that growth, because that's what it's really all about. It's about buying great businesses at great values. Now, if you underpay for the stocks, you can participate to a greater extent in the company's future growth potential of earnings and dividends, etc. If you overpay, you participate to a lesser extent. So the question is, just look for value. And I like all these stocks, and I've owned all of them, and I've made a lot of money in all of them, but I did it because I bought them at value, and I got out of them when the valuations got a little crazy. Valuation matters, as I said, and it matters a lot. So just to recap real quickly here, let's go back through all of them. General Dynamics, I consider to be overvalued. I consider it to be a good investment in the 220 range. If I look at Lockheed Martin, it's also overvalued. I would consider it to be attractive in the $400 to $410 range. I'm just going out forward here to calculate that. And then if I looked at Raytheon, I'd like to see Raytheon in the $90, $95 range rather than $120. So all of these are great businesses. All of them, I think, are great dividend producers. All of them have great dividend growth, but you also want to buy them when the yields are lower. For example, if you look at best time to buy for a yield perspective, it recently would have been buying Raytheon or RTX in this case, because up here you would have got a dividend yield of 2.76 rather than 2.1 currently. The valuations are lowest when the yields are highest. And that's another thing you can evaluate with fast graphs. Anyway, this is Chuck Carnevale doing a subscriber request on these 3 defense stocks. All great companies. I think all a little pricey right now. And price is what you pay and value is what you get, as Buffett said. But price is what you pay and risk is what you get if you overpay. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like the video, give me a like, ring the bell so that you get notified of new videos. Subscribe to our channel, please. That helps us. And also take a look at subscribing to Fast Graphs. It's a powerful tool to think with that focuses on fundamentals, and it gives you information that you can make decisions upon. It's not a magic box. It doesn't tell you when to buy or sell. It tells you what kind of risk you're taking when it's time to buy or sell. Thanks for watching.